Jessica joined the club 1 year ago. She is the current club secretary. She's very active in all kinds of club activities. Now, I asked her one word, what determines success? And she said, bold. Want to hear more from her? Please help me to welcome Toastmaster Yap Yin Xuan with the title Fishball. Anyone? Fishball, anyone? Yap Yin Xuan.
Gentlemen,
good evening.
I myself enjoy food very, very much, and I hope all of you do. Yeah, last week, me and my parents, we went to a restaurant, and I don't know what did my mom. She suddenly started talking about her childhood, and I started to think maybe it's the fishball soup that we have. She starts saying something like this. You know, 45 years ago, I was younger than you now. So, during Chinese New Year, she would go back to her grandpa's house in Bahao, where they have a feast. So, every morning, 9 o'clock, there will be a whole bunch of aunties. I don't know where they are from. Maybe they are from the neighbor. They will come over to the house, sit in the kitchen, and start doing the fish, which are fresh from the sea, I mean ocean. And this is how they do. They take the fish, they put it on their chopping board, they scrape the scales, they clean the fish, and they fillet the fish, both sides, fillet the fish, then they put on the chopping board, then they use the good old Chinese soup spoon to scrape the fish meat from the fish skin. They scrape each and every meat. Before that, they have to make sure one thing, which is they have to touch the meat so tenderly that they have to feel if there is any bone left. So, after they debone it with a tweezer, they scrape it with the Chinese soup spoon. Then, they gather the meat, put on the chopping board, and start chopping it with the chop. I can't bring a chop today to show you how it works. But one thing, they have to chop it right to left, left to right, up to down, diagonally, to make the fish meat more tender, and you have to flip it again and again to chop it finely diced. Then scoop the fish meat up, which is a bit mushy. Then they use a bowl which is similar to this. They start to put the fish meat in the bowl, and they use a teaspoon to measure two teaspoons of corn flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, and half teaspoon of pepper. Then they bring back the good old Chinese spoon, put 2 spoons of water in it, then they start mixing it well. After that, here comes the best part, to heat the fishball. which is not fishball at that time. So you scoop the fish meat up and you hit it back to the bowl as hard as you can. And you scoop it up again and you hit it back to the bowl again. This is to make it bouncy. So the more you hit it, the more bouncy it will be. So after, I think, 100 or 1,000 hits, if you don't hurt your hand, I hope those aunties don't hurt their hand. And after a while, it becomes really firm, and with all the salt and corn flour, it makes them really tasty. And after that, take the teaspoon, you scrape a little bit of the fish meat, which is, I think it's supposed to be fish paste. You scrape a little bit of the fish paste onto your palm and make sure you wet both of your palm, and you brown it just like that. Make sure it's round and smooth. Then you take the fish ball to the steamer, which is big round bamboo steamer. You guys will see it when you go to the dim sum shop. Where they used to steam the char siu bao and the siu mai and stuff like that. So they will arrange all the fish ball in the steamer and take it to steam. So after a while, you will smell the really nice aroma from the steamer, which means the fish ball is cooked. And during that time, which my mom was still a kid, she would sneak in to the kitchen and steal the fish ball and run before the adult catch you. So you would have this fresh, tender, juicy, homemade fish ball in your hand, like a precious that you got. And you will enjoy so much because it's by hard work of the aunties and hard work of running not to get caught by the adult. And from one bite, you can taste the freshness, the juiciness, the homemade style of fishbowl. Thank you.
This is what we call vivid words. I can imagine and I can see, even though without the real fish meat there. Thank you so much, Xuan.
The next evaluation, I would like to invite Johnson Yi to come to the stage to give his evaluation.
How many of you love fish balls? Can I have a show of hands? And I believe from a wonderful speech like Xuan's, you'll know how much hard work goes into it. Let's give her a hand of applause. Xuan, the speech was definitely something appropriate for this objective of the speech. Fish balls, something that everyone likes, I hope. She went on to present the speech, starting off with a very personal matter, a family meal, and went on to reminisce. Her mom went on to reminisce about how fish balls were made. She definitely used words and showing us the process to make it vivid, but it was not the words that made it vivid. it was through the actions and the use of props, the descriptive usage of body gestures that helped us to understand. Definitely, I can concur that you met the objective of the speech being simple to understand. It did not have any bombastic words with a lot of jargons that people would not comprehend, and you avoided using words that were confusing in meaning. In this particular speech, you also demonstrated skills, meeting objectives that is needed in the other speeches. You're comfortable with props, that's project number 8. Body gestures, project number 5. But in this particular speech, I would like to focus my points of improvement on what the objective calls for. It's good that you demonstrated what is not called for. It will benefit you there. But let's talk about what is the objective of this speech. This particular speech challenges the speaker to use words, not objects, not body gestures, to illustrate the story. So while this speech was simple, I felt that you have missed out some elements in using rhetorical devices. And there were a lot of opportunities you could have used those words. For example, alliterations. The aunties went to the ocean to get the fish. They were so fresh and fragrant that we are able to make good fish balls. Ladies and gentlemen, a good fish ball must be like a ping pong ball, simile. They must be round, bouncy, and firm. Triads. So those words, if the speaker were to just close their eyes and just tune their ears to you, they'll be able to picture those elements. But nevertheless, these are things that we will learn and grow through our speeches. And I see in you a person that is very composed and confident now, because you were so close to us, demonstrating the action, and you had a pleasant smile all the way through. So Xuan, keep on going strong. Continue to use descriptive words and rhetorical devices, and I'm sure your following speeches of 4, 6, and 8 will definitely be a fantastic one. Back to you, General Evaluator.